I'm not going to talk too crazy about what I just saw today, tonight, the big speech. I wasn't planning on even, well, I was planning on watching it, but I knew it might be a long one. In fact, I thought it was a really good speech, except for here and there, I really couldn't. I want to know why he has to talk about certain other people, like the other party. I wonder why. Why you have to go off script. What is that about? That was really about nothing. I had took some notes just today about the tariffs. As I was going to do this live, but I decided to save it. But then found out that there was going to be a speech tonight. Target and Best Buy will be affected by the tariffs. Therefore, we all will be affected by the tariffs. Tariffs, 25%. These tariffs are going to be raised as doing business with Mexico and Canada. Chinese goods, 20%. Mostly about crops, vegetables. Because we do business with Chinese, strawberries, groceries, bananas, all those things will be more expensive because of the tariffs. Because if they're going to raise their tariffs because we raise our tariffs, it's going to be more harder on us. The speech he made about the farmers and all that, it sounds great. Is that his means of paying back the farmers because they won't be making any money off of farm aid to other countries? That's what their livelihood. It sounded good. Best Buy deals with electronics. I guess the way it says here, China and Mexico is where we get our supplies from when it comes to that. Products will probably go up 60%. That being said, after seeing what happened before this speech, I would say that being a bully is back. Said America is back? No, being a bully is back because it sounded like and it looked like thugs was jumping on someone who believes more of the free world than our leader do. Strong arm in the person. However, to go forward, he talks about the electoral college. We all know what the electoral college is about. You get a number of votes that are tallied depending on the population and all that type of stuff in each state. So even though California and New York might have the most electoral college per capita, I guess the people, that's the way I'm going to see it, okay? And some other small state, like Virginia and them, might have just a couple of electoral votes. If you get all those electoral votes in all the eastern states and the Midwest, the California vote even though it has way more electoral college votes, will not win you the election. That has happened before. I mean, even if you had the most population, of course you can win both population and electoral college, but you can definitely win without the popular vote with the electoral college. Because you can have the popular vote in one state and outnumber all the other states, but if you don't have the number of electoral college votes for all those states combined, you will not win. The rounding up of illegals. I never liked the word illegal immigrant anyway. Illegal. I don't like how it was done. It had to be done. A lot of collateral damage. And it reminds you of Pearl Harbor. Rounding up a group of people. And in this case, it wasn't concentration camps. Rounding up native peoples in early America and making them walk from Florida all the way to Oklahoma and all these other states as they're dying, walking. I don't even think they were on horses. Dying as they're going from one place to the next. No spears in their hand, no shields in their hand, no bow and arrows or anything. It's just another form of mass movement, almost against your will. But in this case, it's a little bit different. It's not necessarily against your will. It's that there's some people that should not be here had to be moved. And when you have the bad people in disguise with innocent folks, then you know there's going to be some really messy stuff going on right there. Well, some parts of the speech was good, some not. Toward the end, there were tear jerkers. Tears can come in your eyes for certain individuals that they talked about. I applaud them. Even though some of them look like they should be with the other party, they're just there for show. You know, him talking about the other party not clapping, not standing up. They did the same thing when there were other presidents around, that the other party didn't stand up. It looks strange. Even though they approve with something you said, they will not give you the kudos. They will not give you any thumbs up, no clapping, no nothing. Basically because it's the way that you did it. It's unheard of. It works in one way, but it sets everyone apart. You just can't please everybody. But because someone is doing something way different, more radical, more tough, than the ones before. They was probably doing the same thing long before these presidents in the modern day. They're probably doing the same thing, more behind the scenes. But you know that when people speak, it depends on who's listening. Do you believe everything that person said? Like I said, seeing is believing. I don't see it yet. Because if all the tariffs are going to be raised up, definitely prices are going up. As a senior citizen, and they're talking about Social Security like that, there's always problems in everything we do. You're always going to find some inconsistency. But the foul play is if the checks is going to somewhere and no one is cashing them, I guess you still got the money. So yeah, you can pick up probably $8 trillion because there's a check from 100 to almost 200 years old that you said that there's supposed to be a trail of inconsistencies. But if no one is cashing those checks, that means you still got the money. So someone else is spending the money, not that 160-year-old person that you think is still alive. How can that be? You see a couple of examples. Anybody can go online and do a computer chip and go in there and break all kind of rules and look at all kinds of data, looking at everybody else's business but your own. Most of us worry about what are you going to do with it? Are you going to put it in your pocket? Because if you're getting paid to do that, then that's taking money from the taxpayers. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars that if you're already rich, you really don't need it. You should do it for free. Don't be fooling around with people's Social Security. Because just like I said, if you're going to take from someone else, then we ought to be able to take it back. It doesn't have to be in a bad way. It could be in lawsuits. It could be in any kind of way. There are a lot of people out there who believe what you say, but we know that they're really hurting inside and they're afraid to speak up. When you look at those people, their smiles are not real. They look like they're part of the Communist Party. I'm going to say that again. Well, I did say it in my other video. Being a president, I'm going to say it's not that hard. If you got the right people around you who are not necessarily yes people, because they do act like they're afraid. They just want the money when they say yes because they don't want to lose their jobs. How much power does the president have? You act like you're working for a corporation that's afraid to speak up. How can you live with yourself like that? My thought is this. Anybody can be president now. Anybody. I guess you can have a criminal record now. I guess you can have questionable activities now and still win an election. That tells me that anyone from 3 to 103, not 160, can be president. No one should ever tell their child, ever. No one should never, ever tell their child that they cannot be president after what we've been through in the last 20 years, especially this year. You should never, ever tell your child they can't be president. You should nurture them every way you can. That's why I'm surprised that it wasn't too much stupid talking. I don't know if there was a teleprompter there or not. You do still have to practice your lines. Whether you're telling a lie, you're telling the truth, or you're making testimonials. Because even the people who were affected by all those things that you talked about, that made us cry, I'm to go back to that again, they didn't seem realistic to me either. Maybe one or two. But because you spoke to them, does that mean they still have to vote for you? But then again, this is the last term, right? I thought it was going to be something else. I really thought it was. I thought you were going to tell us something so I can jump through the screen. But it didn't happen this time. I'll see it when I believe it. What is he talking about? What else was he talking about? Just like I said, you saw the other party sitting there not making a move. And he's going to make fun of them. When we've seen it before with other presidents that is not as worse as you, but had a lot of class. So it doesn't matter what type of president you are. If people don't like you, they just won't like you no matter what you do. You got the type of constituents, I'm still going to call them scaredy cats, because that's what they are. They don't have the chutzpah. They don't have anything to show to me that they have strength. To me, a person in charge have people with many different ideas. Not to clutter around, not to jump up on people. You even had a reporter in there the other day. Was he? A stool pigeon? A yes man as a reporter. A reporter should be free of all that. Unless she's your special reporter. If you're going to be a reporter, a biased reporter, then you shouldn't be there. And you shouldn't be talking like you have some type of cabinet position. Because of that happened, that gives me questions about what this speech was about. So we all now have free speech, but that does not mean you can still scream fire, especially if it's one of your lackeys. I'm still waiting for some of them to speak up. I think the only good thing I like, if there's something that I like, was you talk about the vehicles. Sometimes I think when it comes to cars, vehicles, electric EVs, and you're going to open up industries, save automakers, save automaker jobs, save the auto industry, go back into refining oil production, making a muck of the environment again. That could be some good in that. So you think that's gonna put more food on people's plates? Not if the tariff is going up. The thing about EVs, if we just want to talk about EVs, if the vehicles can't go 1,000 miles and and can do a quick charge within 2 to 5 minutes, then it has no use for me anyway. So I guess we can have it both ways, EV and gas, see which one comes out on top. I think the technology should have been there, but now we have the technology now, just like you said before. You want to put flags on Mars. I don't care if you put flags on Mars. Because if you want to go to Mars, then you can go to Mars, you can stay on Mars. It's not going to do anybody in this day and age any good. The space race is what it is. But you can't always have people with 4 or 5 different hats trying to tell common people how to live their life by firing everybody, giving ultimatums. Because what I heard is not necessarily true. We have a long way to go, like I said, as a country. We haven't been around that long. But the atrocities have been around as long as America has been born. Until I see change, I'm going to say dirty deeds is business as usual. There are the right and the wrong ways to do everything. I did not want to watch the other commentary after because I wanted to speak in my own terms. It doesn't matter what party you're in. Everything sounded good so far as health wise. Maybe there is a lot of money being spread around that shouldn't have been used for such things. But America actually cannot be great if it's not giving. Maybe we did give to the wrong people, not me, but the people in charge. I didn't necessarily agree with everything that every president do. So to come in and cut this and cut that and tear up this and tear up that, it's all well and good. But you could have easily done that without disseminating the jobs. Because the only thing you're doing, regardless of what type of speech you make, and it sounds good on paper, now it sounds good on the airways. Like I said, it sounds like a good speech. When you stop talking shenanigans, we're going to see what's going to happen. I'll see it when I believe it. If it's not affecting the common person, then I believe it. But it's got to affect the common person in a positive way. I want to see prices come down like right now. You can blame anybody you want to, but it seemed like to me you're just fueling the flames, talking rhetoric, and at this time you actually are talking loud and saying nothing. This is Robert Deschamps. Sometimes it's best to just be out there on your own. Say what's on your mind. I don't have to be too direct because you got other people out there to do it. There's free speech, but there's a lot I cannot say in that way. That other people can talk like that. Of course, if I let it all out early, then maybe I'll talk like that. But that's not why I'm here. They said, make your voice be heard. I'm making it heard. It doesn't matter if you believe what I say or not. Whether you understand what I'm saying or not, or whether you believe in what I'm trying to say and you still don't understand what I'm saying. Because that's not the point of me being here. There are a lot of inconsistencies, and people are not coming to terms with the inconsistencies that's put upon them, especially those who's wearing a suit that they probably really shouldn't be wearing. I'll see you in my next video. I believe it when I see it. I will believe all of it when I see it, when it's positive.